folks. I hope you're enjoying Saturday morning cartoons with me. Another great week. Just wrapped up X-Men. Up next will be Batman animated series. But before that, I have a great guest on with me, Matt, Common Idiot. All of his stuff's in the comments and the descriptions. You can make sure you check that out. But I wanted to ask him, Matt, we were allowed to sit in front of the TV for God knows how long, every Saturday for some reason. We'd watch cartoons before school,
Yep.
maybe after school.
Oh, yeah.
Some stuff was live action, but Saturday morning cartoons was almost like a ritual. What what are some of your favorites or memories or things like that you'd share with everybody?
Well, besides the obvious Batman and X-Men and all that, one of my favorite was, the Spider-Man series from I think it was like 93, 94
Mhm,
on Fox.
mhm.
I was obsessed with that Spider-Man cartoon, but it was more of everything on Fox that they had, the Eek the Cat, Bobby's World, all those funs.
Bobby's
You
World,
remember that?
man.
That
Oh,
intro
yeah.
with, what was the actor's name that was involved in that?
Isn't that, Howie Mandel, right?
Yes, Howie Mandel, yeah,
Yeah.
Bobby's World. What were some other ones that they had? Even Disney had some really good cartoons, Saturday morning I think they had Saturday morning cartoons. Do you remember the cartoon Tales from the Crypt? That was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah,
That's true.
that was an
Everything got a cartoon.
Yep,
I was just so, we were doing a talk hard and we're talking about the brand Super Mario, the brand and the movie.
yep.
And I felt like they kind of have fallen short on the merch. I feel like they've not rolled this out. They got to get on the stick. Like I'd be making some phone calls after that Friday box office number. Okay, we got to have some shirts, some hats, some merch. We got to scale up, right?
Mhm.
Back then, it's like anything could get an animated show. And
Yeah.
animated shows was simultaneous to the action figure boom, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So for me, I'm a
So it's
little
like
older than
even
you. So Happy Days had like a cartoon called it was just the Fonz. It was like just the Fonz. Like the Dukes of Hazzard had a
Mhm.
cartoon. Like this stuff was just so was there one where you're like, man, that's what got me into these action figures or got me into this? What was like some of that next level stuff for you?
The Real Ghostbusters. The
Ah,
Real
yeah.
Ghostbusters was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. I watched it nonstop. I had all the action figures. The Ecto one had it all. Those were my apps. And then when they re-released them recently, I don't know, in the past couple years, I still have my original in like a bin somewhere. But they re-released all of them, and man, it was so cool. And they even did the old nostalgic boxings of those
Mm.
action figures. Everything looked exactly the same. But yeah, the Real Ghostbusters, because that was like my favorite thing of all time as a kid. But I love that cartoon. That was so much. That was such a blast. And I remember the big memory I have of that is my dad worked second shift, so he'd watch me all day when I was real young before I was even in school. And I remember just sitting with him watching that while he was like kind of half sleeping, half watching me during the day because he's trying to sleep. But yeah, that was my spin-off, I guess, from a movie at the time was the Real
So,
Ghostbusters.
Real Ghostbusters had this amazing voice cast, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
First off, I have to give credit to Frank Welker. Frank Welker is like the goat of voiceover. I know people love all these voice actors. I got it. But again, Frank Welker, you know, for obviously he's Fred. Everybody thinks about Scooby Doo and whatever,
Mhm.
but Frank Welker is pretty much on everything. Like if
Yeah.
you, I'm actually getting ready to do. Well, by the time this comes out, I probably will have already done a video on Transformers. He's done Megatron and whatever, right? Soundwave. He does several of the
Mhm.
Transformers. But on Real Ghostbusters, he's Ray. He does the little sound effects for Slimer and the
Yep.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right? So Frank Welker is there. Dave Coulier was part of the later seasons with Peter Venkman.
Yep.
Arsenio Hall was Winston. I
Yeah.
mean, oh man, these shows are so good. That is a very underrated show. That's one of my two, I think, are the most underrated. It's Real Ghostbusters, and the other one is the Men in Black cartoon. Do you remember the Men in Black cartoon?
Yeah. The Men in Black cartoon was really good too.
Really, really good. Those are really good. I can see you, Mr. Ghostbusters. It's just like totally being hooked on uh
Oh,
all that stuff, man.
I even like later in I think it was like the 2000 when they came out with the Extreme Ghostbusters. It was like the remake of it or whatever the cartoon. They kind of re-brought it back. They brought back the old Egon, but he was passing the torch to the new Ghostbusters. And it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't the real Ghostbusters, but it was pretty good for what it was. But yeah, yeah, it was
Extreme
decent.
Ghostbusters. Yeah, that was definitely a
Mhm.
lot later, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 2000s is when they brought that back. But,
Huh.
yeah. But I remember watching, man, all these Exo Squad in the mornings, Inspector Gadget, all these fun cartoons, man. It was so much fun. The cartoons, they're not nothing's the same anymore. It's nothing like it used to be.
So you were old enough to remember, I think, when it pivoted. So for me, there's kind of a double edged piece here. Nickelodeon a little bit, but Boomerang, and that's what kind of broke it, and it
Mhm.
become like we can get cartoons pretty much 24/7, and the event of Saturday morning kind of went away. It was
Yep.
first with Nickelodeon because it was like a 24/7 channel where you had all this other kids content. And then of course there's a lot of cartoons that were on Nickelodeon only. And then once Boomerang came along and they started just pulling in all of this older content, Saturday morning cartoons kind of lost its flavor, so to speak. Cable networks and Disney and all those kinds of things. But we were older by some of that stuff evolving, but I kind of
Yeah,
remember. I
because
think that's yeah.
that's kinda like like you said, the Disney Channel got their own channel, and they started putting everything there versus anywhere else, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When my kids talk about it, they talk about certain things rather than this Saturday morning event. Plus, I was always putting stuff on for them, which
Mhm.
I've started doing with the grandkids, which is, by the way, showing how timeless all this stuff is. There are YouTube that have, hours that they probably recorded on VHS somewhere. I have no idea how they've got this stuff intact the way they do. It's wonderful. But yeah, Real Ghostbusters at the top of your list. No surprise whatsoever.
Yeah, right,
Uh,
yeah.
do you have a favorite Batman episode or character that
Oh,
they made?
the animated?
Mhm.
I would say my favorite Batman animated, character that came out of that would be Clayface. I loved
Mhm.
Clayface. It was such a I've always been into scary movies and the horror stuff, and I think Clayface just embraced that. Like, that's just a very terrifying thing, and I love the whole, just aspect of that the entire cartoon is great. I mean, everybody loves the Joker, right? And Mark Hamill did a fantastic job, but Clayface was just something completely different, and it's just one of those things like, how is Batman gonna beat this thing? Like, how is he
Mhm,
gonna overcome
mhm.
this? But yeah, Clayface for sure is really what stood out for me.
Hmm,
And honestly, I really like the ventriloquist too. That was
okay,
different. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, Clayface is, probably one of those that got, like, major, leveled up from that show. You know who did the voice?
Mm-mm. I know it sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Ron Perlman.
Really? That's
Yeah,
right. That makes oh yes. Okay. I was like, it sounded familiar. Yeah, because
well,
he was
they're
that disgruntled actor
yeah.
with all the face cream. Yep.
Yeah, the voice cast is off the chart next level of I mean, sure, Mark Hamill is the Joker, everybody thinks about that. You're probably not old enough to appreciate Paul Williams. He's like this little tiny guy with glasses, kind of had straight blonde hair, whatever, from back in the 70s or whatever. He was on all sorts of different shows. He actually voices Penguin.
Okay.
Richard Mole obviously voices Two-Face.
Yeah.
So yeah, just great. Yeah, Ron Perlman, he's Clayface.
Hmm.
So boy, he'd be good. He'd be good. So, well, folks, hopefully you're enjoying this Saturday morning cartoon dip. We'll have more commercials after this. Got to fill our time. Make sure you guys are ready to get out of this to go right into Batman animated series this week's Pop Spective as we rewatch another episode of this great animated show. Tons of commercials for you, folks. Keep those recommendations coming. I'll do the best I can to fit them in. But Matt, thank you so much for hanging with me, man. Thank you for reminiscing. It's always a blast.
Thanks for having me, my friend.
We'll be right back.
This is sizzling action. It's Batman. At his best, crime is gotten messy since Clayface came to town. Ready to take charge, it's Lightning Strike Batman.
Eat dirt, Batman.
He's down, so it's Nightstar Batman's turn to get rid of this mound of mud.
Now what's up?
Here's Batman in his Arrow Bat, flipping out to put an end to this mess. Figures and vehicle each sold separately. Batman, the best just got better. It's Lightning Strike Batman, ready to battle the evil Clayface.
Eat dirt.
He's down, but wait, the Arrowbat fires.
You miss.
And Batman flips out to put an end to this mess. Vehicle and figures each sold separately.
Later this morning on Fox.
Look, huh? It's coming!
And she's blasting blasting off for amazing all-new adventure.
What on earth is Carmen up to?
I can't tell you, it's not secret.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
But the latest word on the crime net is...
This is big, 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 big.
Because with Carmen on the loose, anything can happen.
Maybe we can stop her. Any ideas?
How can you nab the world's greatest criminal mastermind?
You'll never catch me.
Don't miss an exciting all-new Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego later today on Fox Kids.
Ready or not, here we come.
Spin Fighters! Spin Fighters! Spin Fighters! Fastest spinning action you'll ever see. Crank them up and launch them into battle. So much action, your head will spin. Now collect World Wrestling Federation Spin Fighters. Pit your favorite champs against each other in a fight to the finish. Only one can win. Collect them. Trade them. You can even wear them. Spin Fighters! Spin Fighters from Bandai. And look for your favorite Street Fighter characters, too.
We'll be right back. Whoa!
Bonnie and I work in this Cocoa Pebbles factory.
Surrounded by all these chocolatey goodies.
Yeah, Cocoa Pebbles are chocolatey goodies. Yabba dabba chocolatey do.
I woke up this morning with something chocolatey on my mind.
And you came to work and got a good breakfast featuring Post Cocoa Pebbles cereal.
Chocolatey goodies everywhere.
Fred, I've got a desire for something chocolatey.
Have Cocoa Pebbles, Wilma.
Oh, yeah. Cocoa Pebbles are chocolatey goodies.
Yabba dabba chocolatey do.
Sherry Jones, David Cassidy, and the rest of the Partridges are here on KTTV when KTTV presents the Partridge Family.
Let the good times.
What is it, Mom? Laryngitis?
No, dear. I have a sinking feeling your brother's becoming a man.
Yeah?
His voice is changing.
Changing? That means my career is over. I'm wiped out.
It's music and fun for everyone when David Cassidy and Shirley Jones lead the Partridge Family in some super entertainment. See it weeknights at 6 on Channel 11, where there's always more to see.